Hello YouTube, so I have a slightly different video for you today. So I came across this website called Absurd Trolley Problems well, I think the title gives you the description of what it's all about. It's a bunch of trolley problems and a lot of them, as we'll see, are probably going to be kind of silly. So this is just a bit of a fun video, but I will give you my honest answers to these problems. I will do my best to answer them completely honestly. So yeah, let's go through this. I'm not actually sure how many there are here. I did like the first 4, and then I thought maybe I should just make a video of this. So I don't know. This might be quite a long one. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. Well, we begin with the standard trolley problem, and in this situation, I would be inclined not to pull the lever. I'm inclined not to switch. See, the thing is, I think that if I'm designing rules for institutions, then it makes sense to me that we would want to just, weigh up the numbers and save the most people, right? So like if it's the government deciding what policy to apply when trying to deal with natural disasters or something like that, then yes, you choose the option that saves the most people. But just me as like a single individual or any other individual person out there, I don't see, I don't think they have to save the most people. I think it's up to them. And I think like a lot of people suck, so I have no reason to think that having 5 more people alive is going to be any better than just having that one guy alive. So, I don't see any reason to favour saving 5 or 1, so I just leave it. I just let it splat the 5, and then we move on to the next one. So 4 people, trolley heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing 4 people instead. Obviously, the same sort of consideration applies here. I'm just going to do nothing. Splat, and okay, now we get to the tricky ones. So life savings. A trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, but then your life savings will be destroyed. What do you do? I have to say that's a very generous representation of my life savings. But here's the thing. I am extremely averse to spending money. I feel the loss of money, any kind of loss, spending it, losing it in any sort of way. I don't like doing that. I don't like the action of having to spend or lose money in any kind of way. This is a bit weird actually, because I don't have any motivation whatsoever to actually make money. It's quite strange. Like, I mean, if you're watching this video, you'll probably be aware that I've done a lot of work just for free. I put up all of these videos completely for free, and I spend a lot of time making them. I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time making this one. This is just a throwaway. But there are some videos that I put a lot of time into for nothing, and I've always been that way. I've never had much motivation to actually gain money, but for some reason I'm extremely averse to losing it. On the other hand, the other thing that's also weird is that once I lose something, once something is gone, I move on very, very quickly. So if somebody was to, I don't know, mug me and they were to take like £100, yes, it would be very unpleasant being mugged, but once the £100 is gone, it's gone, and I'd basically just, just move on. But that single little moment, that moment of losing the money, even spending money, I hate it. I'm very averse to that. And yeah, obviously this doesn't make any sense. I'm sure that if I was to, have like a probabilistically coherent set of beliefs and desires and all that rubbish, then, I would see that this just, doesn't make sense. Whatever, I don't care, right? The point is, I don't like losing money, so I'm going to do nothing. Sorry, that's the truth. That's probably what I would do. You put all my money on the line, I'm probably not going to pull that lever. I'm sorry, I know I'm a shithead, but that's the way it would work. Okay, a trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, sacrificing yourself instead. Yeah, this is a pretty easy one. Although I have managed to overcome my fear of death, as I explained in a video that I will link in the description, because I think it's a pretty cool video, I still don't want to die, and I'm still a lot bothered. I'm a lot more bothered by my own death than by the deaths of 5 random people, so in that case, I'm doing nothing. We will move on to the next one. Okay, a trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, but then the original copy of the Mona Lisa will be destroyed. What do you do? In this case, I would pull the lever and destroy the Mona Lisa, even if there was absolutely nothing on the other track, because I just get... I would get a lot of pleasure out of being the person who destroys the Mona Lisa. I don't care about the Mona Lisa. I think it sucks. But to be honest, even if it were a famous artwork that I really liked, I might still destroy it. Just because I feel like people in general put like way too much kind of weight on like art objects. People have too much of an attachment to them. So, like, yeah, even if it was like a Mark Rothko or something, then I might still destroy it. But, you know, I remember, like, when I've heard about, I don't know, old buildings being destroyed, you know, or, yeah, just, like, artworks being vandalised or something. People get really, really mad about it. And I just think that's ridiculous. I like art. I love art, actually. There's a lot of art I love. But this attachment that people have to it just kind of pisses me off. So I would love to be in this situation. So I would love to be in this situation and there's nobody tied to the other tracks so that I could pull the lever and destroy the Mona Lisa. Okay, bribes. A trolley is heading towards a rich man. The rich man offers you $500,000 to pull the lever, which will divert the trolley to kill someone else. As I mentioned, I have very little motivation to make money, and I love the idea of just laughing in the face of the rich man as I do nothing and let the trolley splat him to death. Okay, levels of sentience. A trolley is heading towards 5 lobsters. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, running over a cat instead. What do you do? In terms of the point about sentience, I don't really see any reason to deny that lobsters are sentient. I think I've mentioned before, although this isn't my official position, I should be clear about this. This is not my official position, but I think that my take on consciousness, if I sort of had to, you know, I mean, if you forced me to take a bet on it, I'd probably bet on something like panpsychism. Like, if I was absolutely forced to take a bet, that's probably what I would bet on. So I'm actually inclined to think that, I don't know, levels of sentience, I'm not really sure. I mean, I get that the cat probably has a more sophisticated mind. But look, I like lobsters a lot more than cats. I think lobsters are really cool, actually, whereas cats are just kind of crap animals. I mean, cats are far too... The problem with cats is that they have far too high an opinion of themselves. They always kind of strut around. They act like they are these apex predators, and they just suck. I mean, they've been, you know, domesticated, and they're tiny. Like, if it was a tiger or a leopard or something, then it would be more difficult for me, because then, you know, it's like 5 lobsters versus a leopard. These are all really cool animals. I just, you know, I don't know. But yeah, 5 lobsters versus some domestic cat. I'm pulling the lever and splatting the cat. Right then. Sleeping. A trolley is heading towards 5 people who are sleeping and won't feel pain. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, running over someone who is wide awake instead. What do you do? Yeah, I mean, in this case, I'd again just do nothing, just like in the original trolley problem. This doesn't really make any difference to me whether the people are awake or sleeping. A trolley is heading towards 5 people who tied themselves to the track. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing one person who accidentally tripped onto the track instead. Yeah, in this case, I'm a little more inclined to pull the lever. But I think on reflection, as much as I'm kind of inclined to pull the lever just to sort of be a troll to those 5 people. But what stops me from this is that we live in a society right now which does not respect people's autonomy over their own lives. You know, we live in a society which is very strongly anti-suicide, even in cases of people who, you know, are in like terrible situations, who have terrible health conditions, who are living in a lot of pain and suffering. We still have this attitude that like life is just good in itself, and we don't respect people's just choices to kill themselves. And I think that's appalling. I think people should I think that should be respected, and not just with people who have like terrible illnesses. I think that just like every individual, regardless of what you think of their life, I think it should be up to them, you know, whether or not they continue to exist. I don't see any reason to assume that like continued existence is more valuable than non-existence. That just seems totally absurd to me, actually. So because of that, because we live in a society where like people's autonomy over their own, you know, decisions about life and death is not respected, I am going to respect it, and I'm going to do nothing and let the... Well, I guess they're planning on suicide. Maybe they weren't planning to commit suicide. Maybe they just didn't expect a track. But either way, I'm respecting their decision and letting the trolley splat them. A trolley is heading towards 5 people. The lever just speeds up the trolley, which might make it less painful. What do you do? Okay, yeah. I'll reduce the suffering and let them die quickly. I'm surprised that only 66% of people agreed with that one. I mean, they're going to die anyway. You're just... You know, they're just reducing their suffering a bit. Jesus, that's a surprising result. Anyway, minor inconvenience. A trolley is heading towards one guy. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, but then your Amazon package will be late. What do you do? I'm a very patient person. I'm not bothered about waiting for things that I want. And, you know, even if I was, I wouldn't... you know, value speed over speed of delivery over a person's life, so I'll divert that trolley. I hope that the 11% of people who made a different choice were just trolling the test. Okay, best friend. A trolley is heading towards your best friend. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing 5 strangers instead. Easy one. Obviously, I'm pulling the lever and killing the strangers. Yeah, when I like feel attachments to people, when people are important to me, obviously I'm going to save them without question. A trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing 1 person instead. At least that's what you think is happening. You forgot your glasses and you can't see that well. What do you do? I guess I would just have to trust the seemings, right? It looks like this is a place to apply some phenomenal conservatism. It seems to be the case that there is 1 person on that other track and 5 on this other one, so I'm just going to have to trust my seemings. But as I said, you know, what we have here then is essentially the original trolley problem. Again, I'm going to do nothing. Let's just hope it's not my best friend who's tied to that other track. Cousins. A trolley is heading towards 1 of your first cousins. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing 3 of your second cousins instead. I have no preference whatsoever. I'm just going to do nothing there. Okay. Age. A trolley is heading towards 5 elderly people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, running over the baby. What do you do? Yeah, I'm killing the baby. I'm killing the baby because... because the baby is not going to have, like, I don't know, life projects or anything like that, whereas I feel like these old people probably will. And the other thing is, look, this is, again, one of those situations where, in the context of, like, institutions, it makes sense to have, like, a kind of age preference. I mean, if you're talking about health services, you know, like the NHS, right? If the NHS has, you know, scarce resources, who should get the resources first? It makes sense to give preference to people who are younger over people who are older. But, you know, as, like, me as just, you know, an individual, I don't, I don't have to act according to those rules. And I mean, anyway, those old people are gonna like die soon, presumably. The baby is like, maybe if I kill the baby and save the old people, they might like give me a reward or something. What the hell is the baby gonna do? It doesn't have anything. It's just a baby. It's just dependent on people, and it's got a whole life ahead of it where it's gonna grow up and it might start contributing to climate change and all of that stuff. So this baby could be disastrous. These old people are on the way out soon. If I save them, they might give me a reward. And the other thing is, what happens after I save them? Because presumably I'm the only one here. If there were other people around, they would have helped remove the people who were tied to the tracks. So I assume it's just me here on my own. And that means that if I save the baby, then I'm going to be responsible for taking care of the baby. And I don't want to do that. I have no idea how to take care of babies, and I don't want to anyway. So I don't want to have to walk home with some crying baby, or even, be stuck out in the wilderness with some crying baby that I've got to take care of. Screw that. I'm splatting the baby. Okay. Right. A trolley is barreling towards 5 identical clones of you. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, sacrificing yourself instead. I'm not going to sacrifice myself. I don't care about my clones, so I'm going to let them die. They might. I mean, I couldn't care less whether or not I've got clones. They might as well be strangers to me. Okay. A trolley is heading towards a mystery box with a 50% chance of containing 2 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, hitting a mystery box with a 10% chance of 10 people. What do you do? Again, I don't really care about this. I would just do nothing. I can say, if this was a slightly different scenario, if we were talking about, say, potentially losing money, for instance, I would prefer a 50% chance of losing, I don't know, £2 over a 10% chance of losing £10. In fact, I'd take the 50% chance of losing £2 over a 1% chance of losing £10. Again, this is kind of my loss aversion. I try to I don't like losing money. So the more money that's on the line, the more that's on the line, the more bothered I am by the probability of losing it, even if it's a very low probability. And this, again, you can say this isn't probabilistically coherent, whatever, I don't care. But yeah, when it comes to the trolley problem with people on the line, I don't care either way, really. I would just do nothing. Okay, robots. A trolley is heading towards 5 sentient robots. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing 1 human instead. What do you do? Well, yeah, I guess it would depend on exactly how sophisticated these robots are, because I don't see any reason to deny that even the robots we've created are sentient. It seems to me that we probably already have sentient robots. Again, if I had to bet, this isn't my official position, all right? So don't treat it like it is. But I'm just saying, if I had to bet, I'd probably say we've already got sentient robots. And I'd certainly prefer a human over those robots that we currently have, probably. But yeah, I mean, if we're imagining robots that are they have the sort of same capacities that humans have and so on, then this becomes, from my point of view, this just becomes like the standard trolley problem, except there's one difference, which is that robots are kind of cool, and humans are just humans, so I'm actually inclined to pull the lever in this case. I also suspect that if we did make these sophisticated robots, there'd probably be a lot of kind of anti-robot discrimination, and I would want to resist that. So I'm gonna pull the lever and kill the human. Again, we're assuming here that these robots have the capacities of rationality and reflection and language and so on, so that in terms of their cognitive capacities they're similar to humans. I'm just assuming that for the sake of this thought experiment. Economic damage. A trolley is heading towards 3 empty trolleys worth £900,000. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, hitting 1 empty trolley worth £300,000 instead. I mean dollars, not pound. What do you do? Well, this is just easy. I mean, obviously, I'm going to take the option which causes the maximum economic damage. So in this case, I'm going to do nothing and splat the 3 trolleys. If those 3 trolleys were on the other track, I would switch. External costs. A trolley is releasing 100 kilograms of CO2 per year, which will kill 5 people over 30 years. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, hitting a brick wall and decommissioning the trolley. What do you do? Obviously, I'm going to pull the lever and destroy the trolley. My motivation is more to just cause aggravation to the trolley company rather than out of concern for the release of CO2. Although, obviously, that is a nice bonus that this is also going to help reduce pollution. So I'm going to pull the lever, reduce pollution, and also troll the trolley company. Okay, reincarnation. You're a reincarnated being who will eventually be reincarnated as every person in this classic trolley problem. What do you do? This is a tricky one, because I think that for me, it's going to depend on what these 5 people are like. I mean, do they have sufficient psychological continuity with me that I can like identify myself with them? Because if I'm imagining a situation in which like I have some sort of just I guess abstract soul, and then my soul goes into different people, but those people are they have totally different personalities to me, then I mean, obviously I'm going to do nothing, because to me they would just like, I wouldn't consider them an extension of myself, right? Even if something from me continues in them, they're just too different. But if we're imagining a situation where, like maybe they remember, like these people remember my life and they have the same sort of same kind of personality and desires and hopes and so on that I have, then I would consider them to be an extension of me, and actually it wouldn't really bother me that I get splattered. So I don't really know how to approach this. Let's assume that this is like the standard view of reincarnation, in which there is not going to be that kind of psychological continuity. Because I think, like in standard views of reincarnation, I could get reincarnated as a cow, for instance, and obviously a cow isn't going to have my mind. So with that standard view in mind, where these people could be completely different from what I'm like now, I'm going to do nothing and let the trolley splat them. Harmless prank. A trolley is heading towards nothing, but you kind of want to prank the trolley driver. Easy. Obviously, you pull the lever. Okay. Citizens. A trolley is heading towards a good citizen. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, running over someone who litters instead. I don't give a fuck about saving good citizens. I'm going to save the bad citizen. Even though I don't like littering. Littering is something that genuinely actually bothers me. I kind of wish that the bad citizen in this case had done something that that like I didn't consider bad, but that like is commonly considered bad. Even so, I'm gonna save the litterer. I think, because I just, like this idea of kind of judging, like this kind of judgmental attitude, like good citizen, bad citizen, that just pisses me off. Like I don't like that. I just react negatively to that. So if I know that we have some person who's like, oh, this is a good person, this is a good contributor to society, no, right, I'm gonna splat them. Due to a construction error, a trolley is stuck in an eternal loop. If you pull the lever, the trolley will explode, and if you don't, its passengers will go in circles for eternity. Well, you know what? If I was on the trolley, I would be happy with eternity. That's fine with me. So I'm doing nothing and letting them go on and on forever. A trolley is heading towards your worst enemy. You can pull the lever to divert the trolley and save them, or you can do nothing and no one will ever know. Yeah, I've got lots of people on my list that I would like to get rid of, so, good. We'll splat them. Lifespan. A trolley is heading towards a person and will lower their lifespan by 50 years. You can pull the lever to divert the trolley and lower the lifespan of 5 people by 10 years each instead. I I think my reaction to this is just basically the same as with the standard trolley problem. Like, I don't know, I just don't, I personally don't really care either way. Like, so I'm inclined to just do nothing. So, you know, I'll do that. Okay. So a trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, sending the trolley into the future to kill 5 people 100 years from now. What do you do? I think that 100 years from now, life is going to be really miserable anyway. So I should probably do the people in the future a favour and kill them. Like, because it seems to me like the world is just getting worse and worse in every way. I'm pretty sure, like, either, okay, 100 years from now, either society is just going to collapse and the entire Earth is going to be a complete garbage dump and like everybody's going to be starving and there's going to be war, or we're going to be in some sort of authoritarian hellhole dystopia where like everybody's lives are micromanaged and, you know, it's just like some sort of like, you know, feudal system run by fucking tech bro assholes, and everybody lives it like that, combined with like China's social credit system on steroids. Those are the two images that I have of the future, right? It's like societal collapse, climate change, resource depletion, or it's this kind of dystopian, like feudal, authoritarian hellscape. So I'm going to do the future people a favour and end their misery. Okay. Free will. A trolley problem is playing out before you. Do you actually have a choice in this situation, or has everything been predetermined since the universe began? I think that is a false dilemma, because I'm not a determinist. I think, yeah, I reject metaphysical determinism. I don't buy that at all. I don't even believe in causality. So, like, I don't even think causation is a thing, okay? So, obviously, I don't buy determinism. But do I have a choice? Do I have free will? No, that's completely ridiculous. I think I do not have a choice. Okay, next. Right, well, there we go. I'm done, and I have a kill count of 74, apparently. So, well, that was a bit of a silly video, I know, but I hope you enjoyed it. And that was a silly video, but those were my completely honest responses. So, you know, yeah, make of that what you will.